absolutely impressed about how many models that I just made out of paper, because I suck at models, let's face it. But then I realized I had to make way more of these things. I was inspired by the work of my classmates and the brilliance of Pinterest to delve deeper into creative paper models. I really struggle to think abstractly, so models are always a huge task for me, but I'm really happy with what I put up. Some were poorly made though, and look like a 3-year-old craft project. It was only fitting that I gave the best ones red achievement stickers. So I started my site analysis of Armstrong Street North, Ballarat. I've lived in Ballarat for over 15 years now, and I've walked these streets a million times. Therefore, it was really important to me to explore areas that I might have missed and to take on details I may not have considered before. I also considered how I use Armstrong Street Precinct as well as others, using the principles of patterns and the Urban Code resources. Armstrong Street is often closed to traffic during events such as White Night or cycling competitions, so I needed to also consider the patterns that I already know exist, as well as take on what I see during my site investigations. For Assessment 1, my first host site was a vacant sidewalk space next to an outdoor room created by a restaurant. My intention was to make this area useful, maybe to look at the surrounding buildings. I was really unresolved. The second host site was a secret laneway called Hop Lane that is fast becoming an Instagram hotspot. It is an artistic gateway to 4 different restaurants and bars and lies between parallel roads. I was absolutely obsessed with adding to this artistically, which was somewhat a downfall for me because this area is already somewhat complete. My first PARAsite I felt was not successful because even though I attempted to recreate an abstract idea of an umbrella from Hop Lane and place it in the middle of a thriving and busy area, it was still disconnected from that space. I couldn't really see myself physically walking into that model and enjoying it as much as I theorized I would. The second model, I threw caution to the wind and tried to play on the existing theme of whimsy under the Hop Lane umbrellas. I thought, if this was acting as a gateway, let's make it an extraordinary gateway. A little bit of Alice in Wonderland, maybe? I had the intention of raising engagement with children in this area because why not? They always seem to be left out of spaces in Ballarat. It still didn't have a function though, and although it had an aesthetic appeal and would draw the tourists more so to take pictures of this existing alleyway, that didn't sit right with me. What's this? A new secret cafe. It's not even signposted. I walked a little bit further and my mind was racing. Hey, you can sit here. So I quickly reanalyzed Mackenzie Street and everything that I had missed, everything that I was doing wrong. I realized I didn't need to add to something already there. I could very well create something that people could really use in this area. As soon as I thought of this idea, it was already designed in my head because I tend to natter issues all at once. I found materials easily and my canopy PARAsite was made in about 20 minutes. My host site, a windowsill, was previously used to host an artwork display. With testing, I knew I'd probably need a top fixing because of the forward balance of the weight of the canopy. A simple hook did the trick. Hey, that's my cat.
Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using the brand new system.
Ballarat Ballarat is a walking city. Everybody walks around these cold, dark streets, and on the days that it is completely raining out, which is 90% of the year, you need somewhere to take a phone call, check your social media, send a text message, what have you. This is the perfect spot, and it's right between all of these restaurants. So the next question you have to ask is, do I think it was successful?